Hello, ride-alongs. It's Gonzo, LVCopsTV. I'm doing a solo today. So, I want to say thank you for joining me on this short little trip to Metro's finest. So this is the deal. They say it comes in threes, right? Good things, bad things come in threes. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about with your three cases that are still going on right now. So in the last 90 days, LVMPD has been hit with 3 arrests and 2 sergeants and 1 lieutenant. These guys should know better, I would think, right? So the first case that you're going to see is Kevin Minan. This is a picture of him when he was just freshly out of the academy, 2014. Young and ready to go. So, let me say this to you guys. This is, in my opinion, the career of a law enforcement officer, okay? Me. 0 to 5 years, you don't know exactly what you're doing. You know how to do the job, but you don't know exactly how to do it. You're not real confident in it, but you learn from other people, you learn from other officers that have seen this type of call or situation, and they give you advice, or you just pick up advice. Okay, that's 1 to 5. 5 to 10, you have the officers that think they know they've seen everything. They stick the neck out in calls or situations that they can articulate, or they think that's okay what they're doing. They're walking in the gray more than they get themselves in trouble. Okay, by IB complaints. Citizens complaining about that kind of stuff, their actions, interactions with them. So you got 10 to 15. Let's go 10 to 20. Then you got officers that are still gung-ho, but are more cautious. Career preservation, right? They're not willing to take those risks to get them in a jackpot, as we say in the metro world. Don't get yourself in a jackpot, right? So they're more cautious. They guide the new officers, or the new officers look toward them for guidance, right? And if they're not salty, they'll do a good job, right? And they should pass their knowledge on to the young cops. From 20 to retirement, it's career protection, okay? You go find yourself a nice little cushy location, something that you have to deal with public, because when you're dealing with public, you're less likely to get yourself in trouble. But there's the temptations of getting into trouble by, I've been here so long, I can get away with it. No, you can't. Somebody will always catch you. Somebody will tell on you. Your cameras will even pick it up. Well, they don't wear cameras in specialized units as much, but anyway, Kevin Minan, he's been accused of making fake arrests, telling his troops that, hey, listen, do what I'm telling you to do, because I have the captain in my back pocket, or the captain has our backs. That's the worst thing you can do, to tell your new young officers that, hey, don't worry about it. Just do it how I tell you, and we'll be okay, because the captain has our backs. The captain has nobody's backs, especially when his feet are put to the fire, okay? So fake arrests, he actually, on one of these videos, see him pushing a fellow officer, and that's battery on a protected person, okay? And some other charges that he's been popped with. And just recently, he got rearrested, or new charges that got dropped on him. And check this out. This is kind of a, whoa. It's possession of child sexual abuse material. Wow, let that sink in. Abuse material. So they went to his house. They did a search warrant in his house. They took a bunch of computers and whatever else, the electronic stuff he has. So I'm not going to say anything until this video is done, and I'll give you my thoughts after this video. So hang tight. Let's watch this video and see what happens.
I feel ecstatic or electrified right now. So it's absolutely unbelievable.
That's his picture in court.
Fake arrest on the Las Vegas Strip. Now a Metro sergeant faces several charges. Thank you so much for staying with us at 4:30. I'm Ozzie Mora.
And I'm Kirsten Joyce. It's a story our 8 News Now investigators first broke. Now they've obtained evidence at the center of the case, including video. Vanessa Murphy has this story. We do want to warn you, some language in this report is of a sensitive nature.
What's up, man? What's up, brother? Hey, I'm the sergeant, idiot.
Kevin Minan pushing a Metro police officer. Prosecutors say it's not just one of his own he targeted. They have a series of videos where Minan appears to create fake scenarios so citizens could be targeted and taken into custody without probable cause. That's a violation of rights. The incidents in April and May as Minan led a specialized group on the Las Vegas Strip.
Where am I going to jail?
You can see and hear the shock.
Y'all do this to white people? Yeah. I do to everybody, bro.
The majority of individuals identified in the criminal case against Minan are black men, stopped and searched in public, according to prosecutors, after Minan manufactured a reason like this. Officers later testified they saw this man with a knife larger than what's allowed on the Strip. As they walk toward him, Minan, dressed in plain clothes, bumps into him and stares him down.
Seems like you want to fight someone with.
He remains calm, cooperative, and confused.
He bumped into me, and then you guys were right behind me, literally.
I didn't see.
Like it was a setup.
At the Cosmopolitan, 4 men appear to be randomly detained.
It's a crime to loiter by a restroom and say, hold on, and insinuate sexual acts.
To who? I just got here.
I don't think so. I think you were standing by a restroom and you said, suck my.
Officers later testified they never heard the men make those comments. They were just following Menon's orders.
Don't worry, you'll be out in like 6 hours.
Here, uniformed officers pretend to arrest Minan. The undercover sergeant then pretends to know this man who was simply sitting at the Cromwell Sportsbook.
What I do, man?
Also at the Cromwell, prosecutors say Minan tries to hand these 2 men fraudulent bills. They never accept anything from him, but officers stop and search them. One of the men demands to speak with a supervisor. They're released. Minan later returns dressed in a Metro jacket. A few months later, he's put in handcuffs, facing felony charges for abusing his power and trying to cover it up.
Oppression of the code of law, subordination, battery and predicate. Wow. So this is Steve Gramus. He's the president of the PPA. He's excited that the sheriff's actually going to take action. It doesn't matter what kind of. So the president.
Metro Police telling 8 News.
Okay. So the president of the PPA, Steve Gramus, good dude, posted a message saying that the sheriff is going to do whatever he can to make sure that this moves forward with full transparency. And that's the way it should be, right? So he was in charge of the flex team. The flex team is generally made up of the 1 to 5 year officers. You know what I'm saying? They're eager to learn. They don't know everything, and they'll digest everything that is being told to them. So if this sergeant is telling them, do this and put in the report this, that, and the other happened, which is a lie, those officers don't have to write it in. In fact, a couple of the officers that were on the transcripts did exactly that. The first officer that got shoved, he didn't work with Minan. He wasn't on the street. He wasn't on his squad. He was down at the convention center. So when he got pushed, you can report that. And hopefully that's how he got popped for that as well. Or maybe it was just the video evidence. Hey, we're going to pop him for this too. Are you willing to press charges? Yeah, I am. So the other charge where the female officer had these 2 individuals in custody because they were loitering in front of a bathroom, man, it's going to make you do anything, right? Make you afraid to do anything. Get arrested or at least put in handcuffs for standing by a bathroom. Both the women and guys' bathroom are next to each other. Those guys could be waiting for their girlfriend, wives, or whatever, right? So note to self, don't stand by a bathroom here in Las Vegas. So this next officer is, what is his name? Lieutenant Brian Boxler. He started his employment with LVMPD 2008 to 2024. He was arrested for battery, domestic violence, strangulation, which is a felony. So if you get arrested and convicted for a felony, you cannot possess a handgun. And he's a police officer. Could he lose his job? Absolutely. And let's say he doesn't lose his job, but he's convicted. He's gonna have to go to work, go see the captain, say, "Hey captain, I'm here to work, can I get my gun?" Get his gun issued to him before shift and after shift. I don't know if that's how it is. I'm just assuming, right? But it's a felony. Strangulation, that's a big one. So let's watch his video. It's not a very big video. It just kind of, oh, and what I did read, the argument was over laundry. Laundry. Boys and girls, do your chores. We're grown-ups, you know. Clean your underwear. But I think there might be a little bit of a, I don't want to say cover up. I mean, in the transcripts, it said that after the incident, he texted somebody or called somebody, and that information has been redacted for privacy rights. But typically what happens, and I've seen this happen with my own two eyes, a sergeant, lieutenant gets in a situation and he's going to make the calls up to his boss, right? Hey, giving you a heads up, this is what's going on. Or he might have called the PPA for the lieutenants, right? They have their own police union. Police officers have the union, the sergeants have their own union, lieutenants, and that's how they work. So he might have called somebody in his union and say, "Hey, this is what's going on, just so you know, I'm not going to be needing your help." So that could be a possibility. So let's keep watching this video here.
A lieutenant is accused of domestic battery by strangulation. Brian Boxler was arrested and booked into the Clark County Detention Center. Boxler has been employed with Metro since 2008. He'll be placed on suspension of police powers with pay for now. This investigation is ongoing.
Okay, that was Brian Boxler, Lieutenant Brian Boxler. So we're going to find out if he's going to retain a job after this goes down. So battery, domestic violence here in the state of Nevada, it's an automatic arrest. You have to arrest. You can't say, "I don't want to press charges." The state presses charges because we have a high volume when it comes to battery, domestic violence, especially this town, because you have the gambling, the booze, the drugs, the girls. I mean, it's just a temptation overload for people. And that, you know, that might not be the problem, but you know, it's a big deal for Vegas, so it's not gonna go over easy. So this next cat is a sergeant. He retired. His name is Sergeant Sean Lucero. Lucero, when did he get employed? Oh shit, 1999 to 2023. So this young man should know better besides taking money from massage parlors, and that's what he's charged with. And he's only charged with one theft charge is what he's charged with. But he retired in lieu of being fired, and that's typically normal. When people get in trouble, police officers, sergeants, lieutenants, they usually retire before they get fired, okay? And that's exactly what he did. So what he was doing, he was targeting massage parlors. So he'd go in, check out the place under a search warrant. He'd see money on the counter and he'd snatch it, okay? So he got caught though because they did a search warrant taking pictures of the room where the money was and then pictures after where the money was gone. And then they have him on video depositing that money, that said money, into his own personal ATM accounts. So this is just a little brief on this guy. It's not very much, but all three of them are still pending investigation. So or pending the court case. That's him trying to hide his face from the camera.
And we start at 6 o'clock with that breaking news. A recently retired Metro Sergeant now accused of stealing on the job. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Denise Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. This now the second Metro Sergeant arrested in weeks in two unrelated cases. 8 News Now investigator David Charnes here live in studio with what we know.
Brian and Denise, according to documents that we obtained and actually just hit my inbox about an hour ago, retired Metro Sergeant Sean Lucero allegedly stole cash from massage parlors as part of the department's investigations into prostitution and sex trafficking. This photo is in those documents, and detectives say it shows Lucero depositing money he is accused of stealing from these businesses and depositing it at an ATM. Other photos show what police say is money in place before Lucero searched a room in one of these massage parlors, and then the cash that was missing afterward. In all, Metro suspecting Lucero stole from about a dozen of these massage parlors, possibly amounting to nearly $40,000. But it's important to say he faces one charge of theft amounting to under $5,000. Now, detectives who worked this case say he, quote, showed an interest in massage parlor operations and allegedly took that money before judges had issued any search warrants, of course, during these raids. His attorney declining to comment this afternoon. I'm David Charnes, 8 News Now.
David, thank you for that. Right now at this time, there's a warrant out for the retired sergeant's arrest. Court records indicate Lucero's attorney is expected to ask a judge to release him on his own recognizance.
Well, that's it. That's the three we got cooking right now. Small apples compared to what you guys are facing over there in Boston. So, how I feel about that? Well, it makes me upset because they just threw a great career away, right? Or the respect of saying, hey, I retired from the police department in good standing, right? These guys retired in lieu of getting fired. Why'd you leave? Well, you're not going to say anything. You're just going to say, I just retired because I was tired of the job. Nobody's going to say, I quit because I stole money, or I quit because, I got in a fight with my wife. I quit because I was making false arrests. You have to have pride in what you do. I always tell my kid, do it right the first time, right? When your feet hit the ground in the morning, when you wake up, you're going to make Gonzalez history. It's up to you if you make a good history or bad history. You have choices. You want to make your day better than the day before. So that's what I tell my kids. And even when I was on the street, I'd be telling these young kids that, they're in control of their history. It's going to be good or bad. And these officers decide to make their history bad. Everything that they did, everything that they accomplished as a police officer, it's tainted. There's no other way of saying it. No other way of saying it. So, but listen, ride-alongs, we appreciate you support. We appreciate you watching. We love your comments. You guys are funny. Like I said before, you guys are funny people. And if you have something that you want me and Brian and Steve to look at, shoot us an email or put it in a comment. Because between Brian and myself, we look at all the comments, read all the comments, and sometimes I have to plug my phone in because it's dying. But we appreciate you. LV Cops appreciates everybody that watches. And I'll leave you with this. For those who are still serving, have a safe tour duty. Keep watching LV TV. Stay safe out there, ride-alongs.